As we all know, getting into a great college isn't just about good grades and hard work. It's also about being prepared for this next stage of life. And with changing technology and the growth of artificial intelligence, helping students thrive can look a little bit different these days. Here to help us, academic advisor, author, and founder of Luminaria Learning Solutions, Ana Homayoun. Ana, we always love when you come to the show. Congratulations, you've got the book out, an updated version of your book. It is called Getting In Is Not Enough. I just think that title nails it. So why is it that getting into college is not enough in your view?
Right. Well, the title is really meant to be a reframe and relieving, because we know that so many people are so stressed out by just the idea of getting into college. But after 25 years of working directly with students, I can say the ones that succeed in college and beyond are the ones that are able to organize their time, manage themselves, connect with others, and be adaptable when things don't go as planned. And yet we're really not focusing on those things in school. And so we have a lot of anxiety about just getting in, but I want to reframe the conversation to expand it and reduce that stress.
And obviously there are a lot of really great tips in the book. Something you added to this version, you did some more research about artificial intelligence and how it's really changing the workforce. What were some of the key takeaways that made you want to update that and add it into this version of the book?
Well, the number one thing we see is that everybody wants to talk about how the entry-level job market is so rough, right? Every employer is saying, you know, this is going to be a tough market for those class of 2026 grads. And yet, over 90% of employers are saying they're really focused on the soft skills, being able to adapt, being able to communicate, being able to collaborate with others. And those are the things we really want to double down on in the age of AI. So my whole framework is these skills are actually more important, and yet they're not being taught in schools. And we as parents and educators need to shift the conversation.
I love that, because a lot of the focus is on grades, on test scores, brand name schools. But that is not necessarily what's going to help you succeed in the long game. That is life. So how do we begin to help our students learn to communicate, organize, prioritize?
Right. Well, the first thing to do is really think about where are their strengths and where are their opportunities for growth, and really allow them to set the plan. Right. We often say we know what you need to do best, but we want students to be collaborative and part of the solution. And in the book, I went back and interviewed my students from 15 to 20 years ago. They're now in their early 30s, and I tell their stories alongside these 4 pillars that are so key. Right. This idea that you're able to build systems to manage and organize your time, that you're able to connect with others so you have strong and weak ties, that you're able to have a sense of perspective that no one job is the be-all, end-all, right? All of our jobs are changing.
Right.
And that you're accepting of yourself and also accepting of others, your strengths, your opportunities for growth.
There were some things on that last graphic that were interesting about just, I think, also parents having the tendency to have sticky fingers and be involved. You can't do these things for your student. They actually have to take the ownership themselves.
Well, one of the biggest challenges that I see when students go away to college is that parents had a role in everything in their day-to-day, and then suddenly students have a lot of free time. But even just figuring out their meals, their laundry, their medications, you know, asking for help, figuring out the resources can be really challenging. So the more parents can step back when kids are in middle school and high school and help them build these skills for themselves, also encouraging them to get a summer job for those high school students where they work with the general public, where they might work with people of different ages, is so key.
You and I have always talked about how a customer service job will teach you so many valuable life skills of just dealing with the general population, which is the world that you're going to be living in. You did something unusual to research the book. Tell us about that.
Right. Well, so this book came about because a parent of a former student who was in his late 20s emailed me and said, you know, my son is thriving in the workforce, and he says so much of it is based on things he learned in your office. So that's
got to feel so good.
Yes, it did. And I really wanted to know the stories of why, right? What were the reasons? So that's why I went back and I interviewed these students, and I heard their different stories. Now, this is one thing I want every parent and student listening to know, is that it wasn't about the straight A's or the highly selective acceptance. The number one thing was, were they able to connect with others across differences? And then secondly, were they adaptable when things didn't go as planned? So if we're really focused on 2 things, it would be those.
Oh my gosh, yes, raising these resilient people. Can you connect with people? Can you adapt when things don't go your way? Important life skills. Ana Homayoun, thank you so much for being here. Guys, the book is out now. Go ahead and get it wherever books are sold. You're watching Daily.